Hey guys, welcome back to Living with J&M. Welcome back to our YouTube channel and Happy New Year everyone. Happy 2020. I hope you and your family and friends had an incredible Christmas and Happy New Year. John and I were able to spend time with his side of the family. We watched the YouTube had a live of every time a new time zone had a country celebrate the new year. They showed it on YouTube, so we watched that and just really were able to enjoy a lot of family time in December, which was so awesome. The end of the year was great for us, and the beginning of 2020 picked up pretty quickly. Real estate market's picking up, so it's busy for me. John's right back in school into his next semester. But today I wanted to make a video because my mom and I were able to take a trip to Waco, Texas, and I want to do a video on the 5 top things to do in Waco, Magnolia style. So if you're here to do other things than the Magnolia Market and all of that, you'll probably click away. But if you're here because you want to experience all things Chip and Joanna Gaines, stay to this video. I want to tell you my experience, where we stayed, how we did our day, or maybe how I do differently. But here's the top 5 things that we did that I experienced, and I want to share it with you so that whenever you go take a trip here, that you make sure to squeeze in all the things you can to get yourself fixer-upper fulfilled. Here we go. Let's go. Top 5 things to do in Waco, Magnolia style. So the first thing I want to talk about is where you're going to stay and where we stayed. We ended up staying in an Airbnb. A few little tips on that. If you haven't used Airbnb before, go check it out. That website is awesome. My husband and I have traveled a lot over in Europe and here in America, and Airbnb seems to be a great place where it's usually cheaper and you can find some really, really cool locations. And so one thing to make sure you check out whenever you do that is make sure that your host is verified, that they have good reviews. Anytime we stay anywhere, we make sure that they have a lot of reviews there, so we know that where we're staying is safe, well qualified, and all of that. So my mom and I stayed at this tiny house storage container in Waco, Texas. So we were about 15 minutes outside of the silos, but it was so worth it. So if you have a vehicle and you're able to drive around, or you want to use Uber or Lyft, whatever, this is a great place to stay. We ended up showing up at night. As soon as you pull up, it's well lit. There were 2 other storage containers there that they had flipped into houses, and then 3 what looked like little bungalows, maybe 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom houses that were right off the side of it. This place had free parking. It was well lit. It was so peaceful, guys. I cannot tell you how peaceful it was to stay there at night. The host was incredible. Always made sure I had multiple numbers to contact him in case anything was going wrong. Made sure as soon as I got there that we had everything we needed. Gave us the Wi-Fi password, the code to get into the storage container. So you show up, you type in your code, and you go in there, and on your left is a little couch, and then you walk through. You have your kitchen, absolutely everything you needed, a little bar stool so you could have your breakfast, and then a shower. And then on top of it was like a little patio area. We really weren't there that long, but if the weather was nicer and we were there longer, I would have loved to sit on the top and drink my coffee. But you might be wondering, where the heck does the bed go? So when we walked in, we were like, this looks small. It definitely can only fit 2 people in that room. So the couch, actually behind the couch there's a wall, and the wall comes down and folds out into a queen bed that faces a TV. And I'm telling you, my mom and I slept on there very comfortably. The bed was so comfortable. They had tons of blankets for us. They had heat and AC. The shower, guys, super spacious, tons of room. The shower head was awesome. The whole place was clean, and it was everything I needed. Cups, Keurig coffee, filtered water, whatever you guys need to really just be comfortable. If you want your own food, you can bring your own food. They had a little mini refrigerator. I'm gonna put all the information for where we stayed. Highly suggest this Airbnb. 15 minutes away, but I would stay there every time I go to Waco again in the future. So the second thing I want to talk about is where the heck are you going to eat to experience all things Chip and Joanna Gaines? And I'm sure you know, but number 2 is Magnolia Table. Just to lay it out there, I am not very picky with food at all. I will eat pretty much anything you give to me because I just love food. This restaurant was all things personable. I felt like I seriously was sitting with Chip and Joanna and their family at their home. And if you've watched their show, there's actually the show where Chip talks about his restaurant and why he did all the little things in the restaurant like he did and how he wants you to feel whenever you're there. And everything he talked about in that show, I'll link the season and episode below so you can look it up. But everything he talked about in the show really flipped into what they were trying to do. I'm telling you, not just the food, we'll get to the food, but the atmosphere. As soon as you walk in, there's someone there that opens the door for you. You walk in, it's everything you expect, the natural light, the aesthetics, it's awesome. All the waitresses and waiters were so nice. They put little water on your table. I got a cappuccino, it was so good. And then they bring out our food. I got their seasonal pecan pancakes with bacon and their hash browns and, eggs. It was so stinking good. I am not exaggerating. I started with the pancakes and you just work your way through. And my mom was sitting across from me and she got French toast. And the thing we just kept saying is this is quality food that is not going to break the bank. For 2 meals, I think we spent around $30. It was so good. The eggs tasted so good. The hash browns were nice and dense. It came in like little hash brown, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's hash browns that have been mushed together into a little ball and they threw it into a fryer and they came out in hash brown heaven. And then the bacon was so good. It wasn't too salty, had tons of flavor. And the pancakes, holy cow, it was so good. So that's where we spent breakfast, and that's why it's number 2 on my list to make sure to go to Magnolia Table and experience just what I think Chip and Joanna wanted you to experience whenever coming into their restaurant. It was fantastic. Number 3 on my list is going to be the main attraction that everyone's going to go to, but here's what I experienced and what I would do, kind of what to look for, and it's the Magnolia Market Silos. I know that you guys have probably seen them on Instagram and on Facebook and on Netflix or wherever you watch Fixer Upper, but whenever you show up, it is just so neat how they have put all of this together and made it feel the way it feels. Whenever you walk up, you have the bakery right there that smells fantastic. I could smell cinnamon like half a mile away. It was so good. Then you walk in, you come around, and let me say this again. There are host greeters at the entrance of every door. Everyone was asking, how am I doing? How can I help you? Do you have any questions? And it made me feel like people there really cared. Like I wasn't afraid to ask what's the best way to do something, what's your favorite food here, where should we go, or any questions like that. I loved that. After passing the bakery, you're gonna walk in. On your left is a little sign-in page where you can sign and put a little note. So we signed in, and then you go in and you can see the lawn right there in front of the big silos, and then you have food trucks all around. So we walked in, and to your left is their main Magnolia merchandise store. So you can go in, you can see all their mugs, all their decor, and then you go down and you can see all their apparel. So my mom and I walked in and I knew I wanted a few things. So I ended up getting a hoodie and a hat for John. And I will forewarn you, it is going to cost a pretty penny, but what I noticed is the stuff that they're selling is extremely high quality. And so I got a hoodie, I think it was around $48 to $50. I got the gray hoodie with the black Magnolia on it. Then I got a hat for John. I think that was in between $25 to $30. And so I saw the cookbook. I really wanted it, but I wasn't gonna spend that. I'd rather have the hoodie and the hat. So I got that. We walked around, just really enjoyed it. By that time, it was like 10:30-ish. And that leads me to what's number 4 on my list, to the Magnolia Press Coffee Company. And so if you come out of the Silos and you take a right and walk about a block down, you're gonna go to their coffee shop. I ordered a iced caramel latte. It, guys, was so good. I have drank a lot of coffee. I've tried a lot of coffee shops, and you can kind of tell when things are quality, or like, you know, you can smell Starbucks. You know what Starbucks smells like. You know, whenever you go to Dunkin' Donuts, what you're gonna taste. The quality of coffee that they roast and that they make their coffee with is so good. I got a small, that was plenty. Guys, if you like coffee or want a hot drink, highly suggest you take the trip down, go walk, go inside and look at it. It's huge. I think they were expanding while we were there. They were building onto it. They have bathrooms there and everything. So make sure to go get yourself a cup of coffee down at their coffee shop and experience their coffee beans, because it was so good. Editing Michelle here. I just need to call myself out with how many times I say so good in this episode, because everything was so stinking good. So if somebody wants to comment down in the comments how many times I said so good, it would just, I said it so many times, but it's so true. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. So the last thing we did on my list is number 5, and I wish I would have known this at the beginning, but I'm so glad we knew about it anyway. It's her little shop on Bisque. And so this, as I believe, is Joanna's first shop that she ever opened, and they've turned that into their discount store. And so we went and walked around inside and didn't really see anything that I wanted, and then you can walk outside and they had apparel. So this shirt they had on discount, they had a tank top I got on discount, and then they had her cookbook on discount because it has like a page that wasn't fully right here, and then it had some black marks on it. It was just kind of scuffed up. I was like, a cookbook's gonna get dirty anyway. I was so excited. So they had $10 off of this, so I was able to get that. And it's just a way, and really the reason I wanted to say this is because if you're on a budget, you're going because you really want to experience what they've built there, I would suggest you start at the Bisque, see what they have there on discount apparel wise, get what you want, or just put in your head that you know that there's a discount store. They might have apparel there. They might have something you want, but on discount at that store. So I'm going to say it like that. Go in whatever order you want, but make sure you keep in your head that you know that. Now I'm going to talk about a few little things that I noticed that I loved, and maybe might be some good tips for you. First of all, they offer military discounts everywhere, and they don't just like assume that you know, but every cashier I went to, because I got a lot, said, are you or your spouse military or retired or VA, whatever. They do their little spiel, and then they give you 10% off. It's so awesome because I just loved it. That's one thing I loved about it. Number 2 on my little spiel here is parking. There is free gravel parking lot right behind the Silos. We went on a, what's today? Thursday. We went on a Wednesday at the beginning of January. It was not busy at all. It was a beautiful sunny day. I was out there in jeans and a hoodie, and we loved it. We actually were able to leave the Silos and come back and park again with no issue. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be like that on every day, but because we went on a really slow part of the season, we were able to park super easy. I do know that they have a trolley that goes to the Bisque and back, and then they have a trolley that gives you a tour of downtown as well. And then the last thing we did that I just wanted to mention is at the Silos, there's no shortage of food and lunch, and so we went and we weren't hungry because that breakfast really filled us up, but we knew we were about to go back to Tulsa, which was about a 5.5-hour drive. So we wanted a snack before we left, and I went to one of the food trucks. There was probably 8 food trucks there. And I went to the macaroni and cheese one. I forget what it was called, but I just got their macaroni and cheese. So good. And then I went and got a sweet tea from, I think it's called Sweet Tea or something like that, Alabama Sweet Tea. And it comes in a glass mason jar with a lid and a straw that's reusable. You buy it, you take, and it was so good. It was just a great time. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Bubba's, hold on, come here. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I hope it was really helpful for your next trip to Waco, Texas. If you guys haven't already, please like the video if you liked it. In the comments below, please put any suggestions that you have for next time I'm there, or anything that you like doing while you're there, or any comments. That would be great. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Living with J&M, and we'll see you next time. Bye.